Hi there, I'm Matt.
I'm Armando.
And we're Pendley's Plentiful Pets.
An Arizona Fish Rescue based out of Kingman, Arizona.
Thank you so much for watching and tagging along. I hope you have a wonderful night and enjoy the show. Hello there, Matt.
Armando.
And today we're working on our beautiful Aquascape. What are we doing today, Armando?
Since today, last week, last time I was here, we did this treescape with all these epiphyte style plants up on here. We got that pretty well going. The nubius is starting to put out some leaves and everything. We put some echinodorus swords and some cryptocorin plants right back here. But the sand isn't going to give them the nutrient supply that they deserve and need to truly grow as dense as we would like for the scape. So we're just going to pull out the tree thing that we did, siphon out all this inert sand substrate, put a smaller sponge filter in instead of this massive one that's taking up a bunch of room, the cutest sponge filter to ever live, and put in some good old aquasoil, fluval stratum, some of the best aquasoil on the market.
Lasts a good while, about a year to 2 years if you're lucky.
You throw some root tabs in there, you can probably double that time.
Be consistent with your root tabs.
Yeah, but just right initially, some straight fluval stratum. Root tabs, can work, but it's gonna up the nutrient expel for the first month or so.
Yep.
Some straight fluval stratum is gonna work just fine.
And we're gonna also be getting rid of any of that like white filament stuff that's been building up for the last week of this tank starting up on its cycle, right?
Yeah, new aquascapes, mainly on wood. They have a lot of organics that start to come out of the wood. Even though this wood has been submerged, it sometimes happens once you switch to a different tank. And it grows a little bit of biofilm. We'll get some close-ups, but it just grows this like white, ghostly type, mold type looking layer, and it just happens. It's part of the natural balancing of an aquascape of a planted tank. Sweet. And you can either just let it run and it'll eventually dissolve into the water column, or you can just take a siphon and just suck it right out like a Ghostbuster. And yeah.
What's the first thing we're gonna need to do?
Take whatever biofilm we have around on here off. Take a little wire brush, and we're going to take off a little bit of this hair algae that we can, and then we're going to pull out the tree and move these rooted plants to the side just for a second, siphon this out, throw some of this good stuff in there, and do that all in reverse, put it back, plant the stuff back, get a smaller sponge filter in there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's get to work.
All right.
Thank you for watching.
All right. Then I need a bucket.
Need a bucket.
A bucket. And this tube.
I'll set up the camera.
All right.
I'm the cameraman today, or any day with Matt and Armando.
All right. I'm going to take this thing off. Yes.
A beautiful.
And we're going to
get a bucket.
Yep. All right, where do you want this extra sponge filter?
We can just put it in the bucket for now, and then we'll put it off to the side. We'll probably need to add it to the goldfish tank because we rescued over 30 goldfish and 2 big koi, and they need some more filtration this week.
Take that air supply to the side.
Make sure we know where that's at, hanging down here.
All right, then we start siphoning. Throw that back. All right.
I think we got a perfect little camera angle. If anyone viewing wants a better angle or thinks we can do something better, if you want to see our faces in it, let us know. So all you do is suck on the hose a little bit, and it starts to cycle and suck everything up.
It's not really that much.
You can use your finger on the other side of the hole.
Or you can just kink the hose.
Yep, or kink the hose. For anyone wondering what's down there, I'll show you real quick.
All right, that's
bucket.
Oof, that's biofilm out.
That's enough. So you want me to go dump that bucket?
Sure. Yeah.
So we want to do about a start for right now this week. How often do we want to do water changes?
It depends. So with this, putting the fluviostatin stratum in, if we want the least chance of plant melting, because when you put aquasoil in a tank and flood it, it's going to release a lot of nutrients, and ammonia is one of those nutrients. And a high ammonia content is not really favorable for a lot of plants. Plants will eat nitrogen compounds, but high amounts of ammonia can burn plants just like it can burn fish gills because they all absorb oxygen. And it can start to melt crypt leaves and anubias leaves and java fern leaves. Those take a long time to get how they are. These plants have been growing for a good long time. We don't want to throw that in reverse because then it's just going to look ugly. It's going to take away that densely planted look that we've achieved on the wood. And it's easier and safer to just do a good 50% water change once a day the first week after you fill up an aquasoil tank or a dirted tank. And then the second week, you're going to flip that to about every other day. And then the third week, you're going to do that every 3 or 4 days. And then fourth week on, you're going to do about a 50% water change a week. Because in planted tanks, the TDS can creep up if you just top it off with water versus do proper water changes. And high TDS, and high TDS, it is not good for fish inhabitants. It's not good for shrimp. Like a remotely stable TDS, roughly 120 to 180, can be pretty solid for keeping fish and shrimp and plants. But when you have a lot of organics dissolving in the water and TDS is sitting in the water, it ups the pH, which lowers the bioavailability of a lot of nutrients that plants need. And aquasoil buffers the water to a good 5.5 to 6.5 pH, which is really good for a water parameter for nutrients. For most of the main nutrients that plants need, have the bioavailability to intake those. So it's just a recipe for solid plant growth. And it just popped, but that's all right. We'll get it back on.
Why? Stop it. I don't understand, man. Why are we doing this? It's only got to do it because we're doing a video, right? Never does it off video.
All right, and so I'm just going to make this simple. Instead of vacuuming around it, we are just going to take the main piece out and set it to the side. Let's get that light back here for a second.
Don't drop it in the other tank.
Yeah, I almost did. Oh, that anubias came off. That'll be all right.
You can glue it back on. Show you guys how we did that the first time. For anyone who didn't watch the first video, can learn how to put them on.
All right, we got to glue that wood
back. The great thing about super glue is it always goes back on.
All right, let's throw that anubias in there. That'll be all right. And then we're gonna start
vacuuming the gravel out.
We're gonna take these rooted plants, toss them to the side as well.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna go set up the fill hose because we need to get this filled up here soon.
All right, take all these crypts just real quick. All right. All right, we're gonna need to get a place for these Amano shrimp real quick.
Quick question, Armando.
What's up?
For anyone watching, do plants eat food? What do plants eat, man? I'm curious.
Plants mainly eat light and nutrients. And some people have said that plants will eat CO2, like when you inject the tank with gaseous CO2. And no, all that does is make it so plants have access to CO2, which then in turn gives them the availability to intake more light and more nutrients to grow faster. But mainly just nutrients, a set of, I think, 16 or 20 nutrients and light, mainly light. But you can't do it without the other. You can't just have high light and no nutrients, and you can't just have nutrients and no light. You have to balance it with enough light and enough nutrients to have stable plant growth and beat algae. And right now we're just taking out these Amano shrimp so that way they don't face problems. Oof. A little jumper here. Okay. That's one.
So are you saying we should get some kind of plant food, CO2? What should we add in?
CO2 will always be favorable for people trying to get faster and denser plant growth, but in a tank this size, CO2 injection can just get overwhelming because it's going to the plant's density is going to get so thick so fast it can be overwhelming. So I would honestly just stick with the good light that we have. We're using a light with some reds, some blues, greens, and whites. And what that does is it mimics the sun to a manner to where we can have plant growth, to where the plants can have the light they would have in nature. Not like obviously the best amount of light we have in nature, or not obviously the light we have in nature, but it's a very close mimic of versus just using whites or white and blues or whites and reds like a lot of aquarium lights have.
Are there any plants like food, like the down here, this flourish, Seachem flourish? Do you use that?
Seachem flourish is good. It has a very good nutrient makeup right here. I like to use Aquarium Co-op's Easy Green. It's a total fertilizer. I've had problems with my plants where I can use a little bit of extra dose potassium or extra dose nitrates if the nitrates start to bottom out. Which the nitrates bottoming out can be useful at some points because people trying to achieve red plants. Red plants go red when they have low nitrogen because nitrogen inhibits the production of chlorophyll. And when you limit the production of chlorophyll in plants that can grow red, they start to grow more red. All right, let's get this.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that information. So we're going to start sucking up all that dirt.
All right, that's a rock.
And a rock.
There's a lot of shells in here.
We need to get some bigger tubing.
Yeah, I think so.
See if we have anything. Be right back.
We could also just use a net.
Be easier since it's not wanting to work in that tiny tubing.
Since there's a lot of shells and large rocks in here, most likely. And then, yeah.
Trial and error, right?
Yeah, trial and error.
Said we were perfect, and hey, we're doing this on video, so you can see even we're not perfect. We're still learning as we go.
And we can just toss it all in here.
We're Bethel.
All right, cool. All right, now I'm just scooping out sand by the net full. A lot faster than siphoning.
Get her done, right?
Throw it in this thing.
Again, thank you for the help today, Armando.
Oh yeah, I love it here. It's a super well done little rescue fish room house type thing. You got it all. It's always changing too.
A lot of work, a lot of trial, a lot of error. Yeah, because the last time before we were hanging out, man, it was you didn't have the setup like this. It was a lot less of a fish room, and now it's even more.
All right.
Just add more and more and more. I think I'm up to 40-something fish tanks now. I lost count. I think when I added the 6 100-gallon tanks in the back.
I just fell back there. That's all right.
As long as it didn't fall in the tank, yep, we're okay. I'll pull it up here for you.
All right, that's good enough. Now let's get some of this gunky water out of here. Where's that hose that I just handed you?
In the tub. 1 second. Oh, just knocked the camera.
All right. So we can get.
I'll take advantage of this. For you looking, all that the decor in the background is available for $1 to $20 hairs. Okay, I'll get back to the video. Commercial break, right?
Let's get some of this gunky water up out of here. Stir it up.
Let me know when you need water. I've got it going back here, filling up some of the tanks just to top them off. Yes, you can top your tanks off. Don't be scared. But still do your water changes once a month.
Yes, water changes are very important because if you only top off with tap water, it does this thing called TDS creep because there's dissolved minerals, there's dissolved solutes in tap water. And if you only let your tank evaporate and then refill, what it does, only pure water will evaporate from your tanks, not the nutrients in it, which means there's going to be nutrients left in the tank but not water. And if you just put more nutrient-dense water up in there, it's going to add the amount of nutrients for the same amount of water volume, which is called TDS creep.
All right. Well, thanks for that information. So do we need to rinse that bag out or anything?
Nope. This stuff should have, just dump it right in, get it settled in. I'm going to put that tree back and start to get this thing hooked up and get the plants back in. And then we're just going to fill very slowly because it's not dirty because it's in like a little ball form, you'll see. But yeah, you don't want to rinse it. There's a lot of organics that live on this. Scissors right here. Do you have a cup or something?
I can get a red Solo cup.
That works. right. Now the tank is just completely empty, and we can basically have a clean start, except with the things we've already settled in the last time. All right. All right. So, to fill this up.
All the plants in the background are available as well.
Yeah, see what I mean? It's like it's in a bead form. It's not like dirt.
For people to see.
Yeah, it's just like a small, like 3 to 5 millimeter granule.
Did we want to put the sand and stuff back in there that we took out? Are we doing that, or?
We can if you want to do like a cap layer, but it's going to take up a lot of room, and plants will do fine either way.
Okay.
Usually sand will have to reach down through it to get the nutrients, but they're good at that. Plants are experts at finding nutrients anywhere. As long as they're available, they'll find them. But honestly, when it comes to dosing extra liquid fertilizers with this, I would halt on that until you see some kind of nutrient deficiency, which you will not see for probably a good several months with some fresh aquasol.
Awesome.
And we're probably just going to do a good maybe inch in the foreground, slope it up to maybe 2 inches, 2.5 inches up in the back. Just so we can have some, because this stuff is very light in the water, so you want it to have enough density for plants to get a hold. Once they get rooted, it'll be a lot easier, but initially they can have some trouble rooting. It's a lot, because sand is heavy and dense. It grabs plants very easy. This is very loose and light.
Random side fact, is there anything we need to do with the shrimp this week?
We could take a look and see what obvious culls there are. And the ones that are like high density, but like the red cherries that we were working on, most likely not, because
Yeah, I haven't seen any breeding or anything going on still.
yeah, I checked if there were any buried females. I didn't see any.
Oh, sorry.
I can't believe you've done this. There's a mono shrimp in that box, by the way.
Okay. Didn't mean to get you a little moist.
It happens.
Just trying to get this top tank filled up.
All right, and that's probably one more cup needed, and then we'll be all right. And look, we probably didn't use a third, maybe half of the bag.
And we got plenty more we can add to the shrimp tanks too. Some of those really low planted tanks.
So one hack you can always use to save a little bit of aquasoil is take some like 1 or 2 inch terracotta pots, fill them with aquasoil, and just like this, but a smaller version, you can plant plants directly into there, and you don't have to fill the entire bottom of the tank. You can grow plants that still intake nutrients. Especially in neocaridina tanks, this stuff will buffer the substrate, or this substrate will buffer the pH of the water lower than what neocaridina shrimp like.
Okay.
So caridina shrimp, like the crystal reds, or bee shrimp, or like Taiwan bees or anything, they like this. They like the pH a little bit softer, a little bit more acidic. But neocaridina like it around like 7.5. It's like 8.2 in my experience. So we're just gonna not really do neocaridina shrimp in this tank, more so fish. Mono shrimp like it a little bit softer, so that's why we have those in there. But I like to use a little bit of aquasoil in terracotta pots in my neocaridina tank because it doesn't buffer. There's not so much aquasoil to where it buffers the water down, but there's still enough to where it can grow plants that have access to it. And then we're just going to slope this up, because when you slope up an aquascape from the front to the back, it makes it look deeper. It doesn't look so flat.
So as the great Bob Ross would say, we start in the back and work our way to the front. Just use your imagination.
Exactly. There's no right or wrong way to do this. There's just tips to make your life easier when it comes to certain topics. But when it comes to the actual makeup of an aquascape, that is all you guys.
Looks pretty level to me from here.
Yeah, there's a little. We might throw one more cup in the back right there. What's that?
Cups up top there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that looks better.
Now we're just gonna slope that down a little bit.
And you just took all that height away. Oh, that's me.
If you look from the side,
that's my imagination.
If you look from the side, that's probably about that deep, about 2 inches deep.
Okay.
That's all we need for this size.
You can see it. You're right.
That's all we need for this size tank. If you're doing like something large that's going to have like a lot of plant density, like a 75, 125, then sure, you can go 5 inches aquasoil, but in this tank, it's not needed. Even if this was chock full of plants, this is more than enough aquasoil. Now, do you by chance have a spray bottle?
Yes.
All right, because it's easier to plant in when it's a little moist.
Moist. Got to make them nice and moist.
But yeah, aquasoil, when it's dry out of the bag, it can cling on the plants versus hold shape. But if you kind of like sand, if it's wet, it's heavier. It becomes a little bit more dense, and it holds onto the freshly. Matt, this tank is overflowing.
I know.
All right,
That's why
cool.
I just cut it.
Cool.
You told me to go grab the thing. I need to turn the water off.
All right. Let's just.
Yep. That's what every time. Every video has an accident, no matter what. But that's why we have concrete on the floor, not carpet. I was really surprised there was no mold on the carpet when I pulled it up a couple of years ago.
Mold can always be avoided as long as you keep it like aerated. As long as there's like some air movement in here. That's one thing I like about living in Arizona. There's a lot of downsides to it, but there's no mold here because of how low the humidity stays.
There's black mold out here before that.
Yeah, definitely. Because places where black mold usually found is from microclimates. In places like Florida, you have to have good air circulation and like air exchange in there because you'll get mold on your walls and your drywall and everything sitting at 80 to 100% humidity. And in Arizona, the max I've ever seen it get is around 80, but that's several days out of the year. It roughly sits at between like 30 and 50% humidity out here, which as long as you keep your house aerated, you have a low chance of ever having to deal with some mold issues.
Oh yeah, we got a dehydrator or dehumidifier. Yeah, dehumidifier in here, and we need to get another one for the garage where the pool's at.
All right, now we're gonna throw this thing up in there.
And yes, we have a 1,000-gallon pool for monster fish. If anyone has fish they need rescued, we rescue them as well. This is Arizona Fish Rescue, Penley's Plentiful Pets, Matt and Armando. Thank you for watching.
I'm actually going to glue this to make our lives easier.
Go ahead, you got the glue right there.
You take the top off for me.
Ooh, baby. So take the top off. That wasn't a bottle.
And then all I'm doing is I'm putting a little bit of super glue in between the contact points where the wood touches the wood.
Okay.
So that way it stays together. And then because it's already wet, we'll probably spray a little bit of water, but water on super glue, on cyanoacrylate based super glue, it helps it cure almost instantly. Where did I put that spray bottle? I'm losing it.
Aren't we all? Down here by the camera, down there on the base.
Cool. Yeah. Just all in the places where I just put the super glue. Just gonna spray a little bit of water on there, and it's just gonna help it cure, so it holds together. It's not gonna cure fully for about 24 hours, but it'll be enough to get it in here and stable. And we're just gonna sit right here for a couple of minutes, so that stick together. And yeah, and in the meantime, I can glue that Anubias back on.
Can you make sure? Can you put it? Make sure it fits through on the other side at least, so you can put it in there so it doesn't break when you try to.
Yeah, I was gonna take it it's upside down and then through there and turn it.
Just hope it'll fit.
It'll
probably
fit.
should have glued that together when it was inside the tank. We'll see.
We'll be all right. All right, and then there's crypt stuck on there. All right, and then the Anubias. Put that right back in its spot. Alright. Grab. Where did I just put that? That's right.
So how long you been into the fish hobby?
I've been in the fish hobby since I was probably 11 or 12, but keeping planted tanks and tropical fish that don't want goldfish or improperly stocked goldfish tanks that have various tropical fish that shouldn't be in with goldfish. Probably 3 or 4 years now.
Well, we were kids,
Yeah, doing it correctly. and actually like trying and learning the science behind it. Probably 3 or 4 years now.
My father, I started off with tanks there. With my dad had a tank, and that's the big community tank in the living room. And I started off about 10 years ago now with a 10-gallon tank and put everything you weren't supposed to in a tank.
Exactly.
Crawdads, bala sharks, cichlids, it's great. Mubana cichlids.
It's all part of learning.
But we learned. Now we have all of these tanks, 40 plus tanks, individual communities, all the same fish with each other, beating each other up, and I'm just kidding. They're doing really well together.
I'm going to get this ladder just to make sure I have the room. So I don't want to overextend myself here.
Got it. Push the button in the back, pull it up.
I'm trying. All right, there we go. All right. Whew. It's all right.
Goldfish behind you, we're watching.
Remove this light here. Stop it right there.
Here, I'll grab it.
Probably just, if you want to hold that, kind sir.
Put it on top of the Tetra Easy Balance Plus that I have 1 million of, and the Aquasafe Plus that I have 1 million of that are available. If anyone needs any. Oh, and the wood's already separated.
That's all right. We'll just put it right back. All right. Let's just make sure that that's all good. All right, I like that. And then mini sponge filter. Got the air supply. For teeny tiny filter. For anybody who doesn't know, sponge filter, it's an air-driven filter instead of mechanically driven. You can run it off of a piston air pump or just an individual store-bought air pump, and it just has a spot where air goes in through here, and it has sort of like an air stone type. It has holes poked in a tube after it goes through a tube that it pokes into here. It puts out little holes where the air comes out. And when the air comes out, it displaces water, and as those bubbles come up, the water has to replace itself, and so it's on like a tube that has many holes behind this sponge, and when the water has to replace itself, it has to come through the sponge, and as it does that, it feeds beneficial bacteria, so it can filter your tank. I'm just going to throw that.
You learned something new with Matt and Armando. Emily's Plentiful Pets, Arizona Fish Rescue.
In the middle this time. All right.
Sorry, I'm working on sound effects. I got nothing better to do.
You're all right. All right. Man, that's good. I'm going to move this back a little bit so we can scrape the glass in the future. So it's not touching the glass. It's a little maintenance step. You try and keep your hardscape off the walls as much as you can, so that way if you need to scrape the glass or with a sponge or something, it's a little bit easier.
Sweet.
All right, let's bring up this thing. Get that side back to looking flush.
Mr. OCD over here.
All right, and then rooted plants. Sword the crypt, and we'll probably grab some rotala, maybe that hygrophila up there, a little clip into that.
Sweet.
Maybe some Ludwigia. We just want to fill it up so that way when the substrate starts releasing nutrients, we can limit algae. All right, that's
just let it eat all the algae up.
Because you want it to compete. It's not really going to eat it. You just want to beat it to the punch. Because algae's always waiting. You just got to beat it. I don't know where you put the lid. To that, but here's that super glue.
Oh, super glue. Okay.
Thank you. And then this is just a cheap aquascaping kit. It comes with 4 individual things. It's some curved scissors, so that way when you need to get in there, you don't have to level the scissors straight. You can have it a little tilted and whatnot. It makes it a little bit easier for your hands to get in there. Tweezers, straight on tweezers, some curved tweezers for planting, and then just substrate rake, just a little triangle thing, and the smaller one just to help get it straight, as you guys saw. right. I think I got that for like $9 on Amazon. All right. So, like an Adora sword, we could probably use our fingers for that. Oh no, it's a little tight back there. Alright, that leaf just came off. That's alright, so that one. Alright. An aquasoil is super easy to plant into, so you gotta, it's because it's very light, which means there's a high chance plants come up if you don't have it grip the substrate enough. So I just like to plant it on the substrate and then pat the other substrate around it and just make sure it's in there nice and tight, because you don't just want to waste time and have it come right back up. And then my favorite aquatic plant besides S-ripens, crypts. I love these. Love the way they look when they grow. I love their leaf structure. I love how dense they get. I love crypts. I'm just going to throw that right there. I'm going to throw some baby crypts and a red one. I'm going to throw the red one on this side. Red one right there. Alright, there's a baby crypt right there. Alright. Substrate patted down there. Alright. Spray down these plants so they don't dry out. That works.
You need some nice moist plants, you know.
So we don't waste all this precious time and just let it dry out. And then same with the ones outside of the tank too. Alright, baby crypts. And you want to fill these in areas where they're not going to just grow and block out of the things. That's why I'm not planting any crypts like right here in front of this area, because they're just going to get dense and cover the whole thing. And granted, a Nubius and a Java Fern, they like low light. They're in enough low light. You don't want to just completely drown them with light. So we're planting them in areas before when they fill out, it'll look good. Alright. One more baby crypt, and then we can get some stems going.
You want me to start filling it up with some water here soon?
Maybe up to like right here.
Ready, I'll get that going here in a second.
Alright, just very slowly, because the stuff is very light. Oh yeah, I'm ready for some water.
Alrighty, if you want to start grabbing plants while I do that,
I can do that.
Kind of zoom out the camera and let them watch you grab some plants from the other tank.
Alright, let's put this somewhere right here. That works. Alright, use some scissors. Just gonna put them in this cup.
So he's grabbing from our 100-gallon grow out tank, specifically to grow plants out for you people who want plants. They're all available from $1 hair to $8 hairs to, I think one of the biggest ones in the back are about $20 hairs. And we can ship them to you. I'll figure out how to do it. I guess I got to, another thing to figure out. Thank you for watching. Penley's Pinnacle Pets, Arizona Fish Rescue.
All right. Let's take a clipping or so of this.
Get some water in here while he's doing that. And you don't want a lot of water, just do a little pressure, nothing high pressure, just dribble in there. Oh, we're about to go into a dark, murky mess. Turn that speed down a little bit.
All right, that's enough water.
Oh man, I can't wait to see it when it all clears up. But that's Good old biomedia. Those little nutrient ball features.
Alright, now I'm going to take a couple of L. Where are those tweezers? There they are.
Just know the tank will clear up in the next 24 hours. We'll get a nice little video probably at the end of this video so you can see what it looks like the next day or two. I'm going to start doing water changes here the next week or so, constantly doing water changes. You want to do it, what, once every 24 hours, you said, on this one?
Yeah, about 50% change every day for the first week. And then just as the weeks go on each week, just add a day between until about the 4th or 5th week, and then you just, 50% water change once a week. But you do want to do that 50% change once a week, at least for the first 3 to 6 months, because it's still going to be new. The plants are still going to be adjusting, even though they might start growing. To really achieve true plant to tank balance, you're going to want to wait probably around that time, 3 to 6 months, before you can call it good and square. Maybe call off the water changes a little bit, but until then, you're going to want to be exchanging out some of that water. All right. Let's get to you.
Oh, shoot. I guess that means I got to put an alarm on my phone every day to do a water change.
Should only be half a 5-gallon bucket. I think that tank's only 5 gallons.
You're killing me, man.
Alright. Got some Val. Then, got some Ludwigia. Let's take one more of these swords.
So the ultimate question, Armando, what's your favorite plant?
My favorite plant, it's a mix between two. I really like this plant. It's a very low-growing plant. I'm taking a stem from this tank. It's called Stargan repens, or S. repens. I love its dense growth. I can actually send you some pictures of this plant grown in well in one of my other tanks, and you can put it in here on a layover while I'm talking about this. I'll send it to you
Okay.
when I get home.
Do a little ting!
Yeah, exactly. I love the way this plant grows. And then I like that. I like Hygrophila pinnatophyta. I like Hygrophila polysperma.
Huda, hida, huda, habada,
And I really like Rotala indica and Ludwigia palestra super red. Those are some
I don't
of my
mind
favorites.
anything indica.
That's not child friendly.
I mean, so we click not child friendly on the video anyways. We've seen your undies twice.
Fair enough. Alright, now let's just put this sword first. What are those tweezers? Alright. Throw on one of these.
Make it worthwhile, throw a few jokes in there, make people want to keep watching, not just plant here, plant there. I don't know. Just want to make it more interesting, get everybody to like our videos. A little bit of laughs here and there makes it worthwhile to me.
Oh yeah, of course. Alright. That was an Amazon sword I just threw in there. Now we're going to throw some...
And I believe that's a fire sword as well, where the plant gets a nice red leaf when it first starts to grow, and then it slowly turns to green.
And we're going to throw a couple stems of this Hygrophila corymbosa you have up
Show it in the camera, please. We want to make sure we're showing each one of them, because we can't really see now. We added too much water. We shouldn't have done water.
Sort of this... this kind of broadleaf structure stem plant where it doesn't grow like a sword, but it has short-shaped leaves. So this will just continue to grow tall to the surface, so we can clip it back and plant it next to each other to get some denser growth going on.
Awesome. Sorry, I put too much water in there. I didn't realize it was going to get that cloudy that quick.
You're all right. That's what I meant, very, very slowly. Which it was probably going to do it anyway. Alright, and there's one big stem, and then we just have a smaller stem of a couple, 4 leaves right here that'll take hold.
Well, good thing that little baby bubbler sponge filter will do its job. We're just going to have to clean that thing while I do the water change. I'm going to squeeze that thing out to get all these little, thin carbon.
Alright, now I'm going to throw a big jungle bell. Just one, because it'll create runners in every direction.
Man, this thing's gonna look good when it's all done.
Okay, let's get this going. Woof. Alright, this leaf is done for. We'll just leave that. Alright.
So here's another good conversation. Any good things to do when, say, your plants are just freaking out, shock, and they start dying and you don't know what you're doing?
As long as you keep up with those water changes when you first put aquasoil in, most of the reason plants die in a new scape tank that has a high nutrient substrate, it's because ammonia is leaching into the water and they're not doing the water changes that are required to keep that TDS and ammonia level down. But as long as you keep them,
you're putting jungle val in there so people can see. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just kind of like tape grass, sort of like a seaweed sort of looking, like this plant that reproduces via runners. So when it's planted right out of the base, it's going to just take like a little bud thing on a stem. It's going to throw it out forward, and it's going to grow another baby one of these. It will become like this. Then it's just going to. They call them chain swords as well because it's like a chain. It puts out a little link, and then it puts another one of these, and that one is going to grow another one. And this one may even grow 2 or 3 as it goes on in separate directions. So it can overtake a tank quick, but I'll keep an eye on it.
So when we're trimming, do we want to pull from the base? Do we want to just cut it? What's a good way to trim that?
So you'll see the stem where the bud comes off of, and you literally just want to cut that stem and then pull off that baby plant and either replant it somewhere or put it somewhere else. You just don't want to leave it going because it'll overtake the tank real quick. Like we do want it to overtake a little bit because we want that overhang tape grass look, but you want it to be something you aim for, not just let it get all willy-nilly crazy, because it'll overtake anything. It's like an algae but a plant.
And make sure you moisture plants again.
Again, just moisturizing the plants. We'll just put in some water, keeping the rhizomes and root systems wet on the plants that aren't submerged yet, and then
you're doing that like every 5 minutes. Good job. We're about 40 minutes in now.
All right. That was fast.
Yeah, time flies by when you're having fun, right?
All right, and then this is, what do I have right here? Okay, so these are a little bit of floating stems of bacopa we could throw in and realize these were floating in here. All right. There's little guys right now, but that'll be all right.
That happens when you do vacuuming and stuff like that. Little pieces break off. You don't see it all.
That works, though. It's more plants. So that's the Dwigia. That's bacopa right there. So what all do we have up here? So that's the S. repens. All right. So first we'll plant these little stems of bacopa.
Show us real quick. What is it?
Yeah, this is bacopa monieri, also known as moneywort. And it's sort of like a roundish coin-shaped leaf that grows in a stem. It's another stem plant that's going to just grow tall. And yeah, it just has these sort of like ovalish shaped leaves instead of like a pin-shaped leaf or like a sharp broad leaf. It's sort of like this coinish, just small leaf. It's a nice addition to any tank, in my opinion. I like it when it gets really dense. So when it grows tall, you just cut it, replant it, and you got yourself a winner.
It just keeps growing and growing and growing. And that's how all the plant people make millions of dollars, because they have all these tanks, growing plants.
Yeah, and then you could just sell the clippings on eBay or on Reddit's Aquaswap or Craigslist, Mercari, just anywhere where you can sell stuff. It helps you get even more outreach if you ship them.
Plants are so much easier to sell than fish, I swear.
Yeah, they are. Unless you have certain fish, like very rare, like L number plecos.
Yep.
Or like even some of the rare, not really rare, but more colorful sought after bristlenose can sell well.
Man, so did you see all the guppies we rescued up in that top tank over there? We rescued a bunch of guppies over there, and they're all enders. I probably rescued 100 enders, and they go for what, $15, $25?
For high quality versions,
yeah.
Especially in pairs. You can sell pairs for upwards of $50. But this is a Ludwigia, where it's kind of like a bacopa, but it grows, in my opinion, a cooler leaf structure where it's just like wavy, sort of like, not really coin leaf structure, but it's sort of like a smaller broadleaf plant that grows just like, it either grow like tall upright or kind of like swaggy, and But yeah, it can also get reds, it can get greens, it can get oranges, depending on the variety you have. And yeah, it just, I don't know, I really like this plant. I'm just going to throw one stem in there because it'll grow tall. We can hack it back. And
heck yeah. This thing's going to be overwhelmed in 3 months.
Maybe even a month, depending on how everything goes. We're going to throw that right.
Keep following and let's see how it grows. Thank you so much for following, everybody. Please like, comment, subscribe. Pendley's Plentiful Pets Arizona Fish Rescue.
All right. I think we're on to this piece of S weapons.
Anyone that wants to donate back towards the rescue, we take Cash App and Zelle. Cash App is $ Save the Fishies. Fishies is IES at the end. We also have the Zelle, no longer the Zello because I'm dumbo. It's 928-263-9626. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you so much for tagging along.
Right, this is my favorite. This is my favorite, like probably an all-time favorite aquarium plant. It's S weapons. It's a very shallow stem that only grows like 4 to 7 inches tall before it just kind of like stalls out. It's not a tall growing stem, but it is technically a stem plant, and it grows these very close together nodes of leaves. And I just love this like diamond shaped like arrow leaf structure, especially when it grows tall and you hack it back halfway and you plant it back together. It starts to get this like very cool and like densely, like it can become a carpet plant. But it can also just be this like little accent, like little like accent type of like I guess like a shrub style thing in an aquarium without it getting overwhelming. Because any plant could be a shrub, but a lot grow fast. Like Rotalias and Ludwigias and Bacopas and whatnot, they all grow fast.
Dude, you say shrub, I'm sorry, but every time, all I want to go is, nee, nee, nee. We are the knights who say, nee. We would like to request a shrubbery.
A shrubbery.
I'm sorry, I had to quote it, guys.
Oh, you're good.
Right. My childhood has been scarred thanks to Monty Python.
All right, I actually think we're going to throw that right up there in the front, in the corner. Oof, come on, go down. All right.
Well, nice little shrubbery.
We have a couple more free-floating stems of Bacopa in here. This is just Bacopa, the same plant that I just showed a couple of plants ago.
Okay.
Just going to orient the stems in a grouping. And you don't just have to plant like one stem in each area. You can, but it'll take longer to fill out. So especially in a nutrient-dense substrate like this, I like to take 3 or 4 stems and group them together. And that'll be 3 or 4 different heads, maybe even 5 or 6 if they start to grow up from the bottom. That'll just fill up an area a little bit faster.
Battery went down to 15%, so we got to cut it here in a little bit.
All right. I'm going to throw this Bacopa on the other side.
We only went through 20% of the battery in a 45-minute video. Woohoo! Don't we love technology?
Right. I'm just going to use this light to see back here real quick.
It's a new Samsung phone. Good old Androids, eh? Oh, wait. Android. It's supposed to be better.
Yeah, in recent years, Apple's quality has gone down. Samsung and Android phones definitely have the upper hand. I'm still using a boring old iPhone, but I take a lot of pictures. I like the camera quality of Apple better.
Yeah, the new Samsung's like the newest one, the 24 or whatever. That camera quality is just beautiful, man. My buddy got one of those, and I'm like, I gotta upgrade soon. Especially when we're doing videos like this, so you don't see any of that staticky. Looks like we're taking a 1990s video. Looks like we're doing the old video cams.
Maybe. What else do you got around here?
Plants, and more plants.
I would say we could take some of these Rotalias, but there's still loads of hair algae in here.
Yeah, I don't want to spread that hair
You don't
algae.
just want to bomb it, because there's probably going to be some, because it's most likely spore related. But you can combat that with a little bit of CChem Excel and hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah, well then we should probably do that in the next video. Show me how to fight this. I said we should do that.
That's if it starts up. Because if you plant well enough, and throw some like floating plants up in there, chances are it'll figure itself out before it gets out of hand. But there's still a chance, you know. You don't
We've been trimming this weekly, and we can't get rid of it.
All
we
right.
did the micro dosing too on it.
I actually think that's about good for now. Then.
Okay. Well, let's fill her up with water.
We'll see where it's at in about a week, and then yeah.
Let's fill the rest up with water so we can see it get filled up.
As slow as you can.
But what if I mess up? You said be slow, right?
A slow.
Oh, wrong kind of slow.
Yeah. Now you're kind of slow.
Guys, please
slow
don't
water.
Me. I'm a 90s kid. We make too many horrible jokes. I blame Armando.
Alright, that should be...
Too fast?
No, that should be alright. Yeah, that's working fine. It's just a slow... Because you just want a slow trickle into the water. You don't want anything to get disturbed. Once we get some more water in here, I'll fix the soil, and then we'll be good for another week. See where it's at in a week.
I don't think we scraped any of the algae hair off like you were talking about. Angel hair.
There's really only some right on there, so I'll take a little a spinning wire brush that I have, and I'll get it once it's filled.
So you show people real quick what you're doing.
Yeah.
Little bonus. Gets us to about an hour on the video, trying to do an hour long, 45 to an hour long episode.
Oh yeah, that's pretty dense even just for newly thrown in plants. Wait for like 6 weeks. Wait for those stems to grow up to the surface. This tank is gonna be insane. We're probably gonna throw a little bit of duckweed in here though, just a little bit because you want it because as it grows, it's gonna take up that extra nutrients in the water, so it's gonna combat algae. And as soon as we get the algae in order, we can all annihilate it for you. Because all you just gotta do is you just gotta net it and then let it go for a while, and then we'll just like net it and get as many little particles as you can out, and there'll most likely be smaller ones that you can't see, and you're just gonna go back and take it out again, and you just want to go. Just every time you walk by, you're just gonna take it out real quick until and it'll disappear. As long as you just keep at it.
I don't like duckweed. It's a pain in my butt.
Do you have any other floating plants? Any frog bit, salvinia, anything? Because that's...
No, but people can donate if they want. You know, let me know if you want to donate, yo.
Yeah, because that's what I recommend is either some frog bit or some salvinia because it's bigger, it's easier to control, it's easier to get out if you need. But if you don't have that, then duckweed works.
Well, good thing they have Amazon, and we can get some if possible, if need be, because that's what this is, the project tank. So.
I actually have some coming in later this week. I can bring over a small handful of salvinia.
Awesome. Let's do it. I'd rather do that than the duckweed.
Remember those like velvety looking like water spangles that you used to have? Yeah, that's what I got like probably 50 leaves of that coming.
Turn that water off here soon.
I'll let you know like 3 seconds out. Alright, water can go off now. Perfect.
Awesome. That's all done there. Let me put that away.
And then let's just fix the substrate.
Sorry. I mean to make you deaf, everyone watching.
Just throw that substrate back so those plants have hold. So they don't come up in an hour. Alright, that's good, that's good.
He's resetting the gravel, making it look nice, making sure the roots are everywhere they're supposed to be.
Alright, nothing's floating. Let's put that sponge.
Again, tomorrow morning I'll come back and take a video, so anyone who's watching, just tag along till the end of the video and you'll see how it looks the next day, all cleaned up with that sponge filter.
Okay, we need to squeeze the air out of this because it's floating. Alright, now it's sinking.
So this is How to Aquascape with Matt and Armando, the Pen Loose Plentiful Pets Arizona Fish Rescue.
Part 2 to last week.
Yeah, part 2 to the last week. So if you're following, please go on, look at our videos, check it out. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. Appreciate you. If we bore you, put in the comments and tell us what we can do better. And no, we're not doing stupid things.
Yeah, we're not experts. We could just use a little bit of help.
And if anyone wants to advise too, we're always doing this.
We're a little slow. Not the good kind.
only taken us 10 years to figure this out.
That is a janky leaf that we're going to cut. And I'm just cutting off this one extra little shriveled up jungle val leaf so that way it's because it's going to fall off and decompose and we don't want those nutrients back in the water.
Cut off any death.
Alright, let's grab that out. And then a little bit of hair algae. Let's grab that real quick. Which I brought. This thing, it's a little wire straw brush. It came with a canister filter you can get up in the tubes. And all you do, you can use a toothbrush too. It's the same concept. And you just want to take it where the hair algae is and just twist it.
Yeah, we can do this too.
There's really not much to even grab. I think most of it came out in that water change. So that's good.
Whoa, that has multiple colors. How do we go back to white? There we go. Thought it was. So where does the? I thought this did the brightness too. How did it go from color from brightness to color? Where's the color or the brightness part? I was going to turn up the lighting on it. This part.
No, it's the backlight.
I'm so confused.
Isn't it this? Yeah, it's this.
Okay, is it the top light? I thought it was the back light. It's the top light.
No, this is the Higher WRGB.
Okay, awesome. See, I'm
and then
special.
I'm just gonna throw that right
Maybe
in the
brighten it up a little bit so people can see a little bit better. See if that helps.
right there. I think that's a good enough amount of light for all those stems, all those swords.
And we won't keep the lighting this bright. This is just to show everybody.
Yeah. And then we're gonna a little bit of prime in here and put those Amano shrimp back.
Your prime is down there. Do a little capful of that. Check what Seachem prime is.
I just want to shake this a little bit before you use it. Seachem prime. It's concentrated conditioner for marine or freshwater aquarium systems, and it removes chlorine and chloramine. It also detoxifies ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. It's
the holy grail of water conditioner.
Yes, the holy grail of water conditioner.
One little capful does 250 gallons.
So that's why I just do a little tiny bit. Like literally a quarter of a capful, because this is 5 gallons. You can overdose this stuff, like not too much. You would have to overdose it probably 10 times the recommended amount to actually have anything bad, have any bad repercussions. But I just want to do a little overkill because these are shrimp going in here.
I had to wipe it down.
Yeah. All right, and then Amano shrimp. Grab these little bad boys back out of the box.
Little box that they were in is over here.
I don't know if one jumped out or if one's in that bucket.
Hope one's in the bucket, was on the tree or something. Because we had 3 in there, I could have sworn.
Yes, we did have 3. All right, and these are Amano shrimp. These are the holy grail of algae cleanup. They eat blackbeard algae. Well, the grays on it. They eat hair algae. They eat green spot algae, green dust, diatoms. They're mainly here for the biofilm and diatoms because it's a new planted tank setup, and there will be diatoms in here. With any scape is going to have an ugly face, most likely. I've seen them be able to avoid it, but the chances are you're going to have an ugly face where you're going to have a diatom bloom and mainly some green dust algae going on. But it'll, over time, about after 6 weeks, it really starts to settle in. And I'm going to check this bucket for last Amano shrimp.
If we want to dump that bucket into another bucket. Drop the net down and put a bucket in a bucket.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to do this. You just dump that out in that little bowl real quick. Alright, dump the bucket. You hold the net.
I am not seeing anything. Sorry you can't see right now, y'all. I think Mr. Armando jumped out. because
Yeah, it's not in here.
they're not in this bucket at all. All right, let's put this away for now.
Hopefully it jumped into the tank behind it. Otherwise, otherwise you didn't make it.
Yeah, for anyone watching, the shrimp do like to jump on open top tanks.
That is why we have a lid. The lid
We have the
doesn't,
lid on there too, so how would it jump out?
because there's a gap. It doesn't sit flush.
Well, maybe he jumped into the one of the bottom tanks. So we got lucky.
You think you'd smell him if he died, so we're just gonna say he's fine. Yeah.
Let me jump this over here, and we can do our little bye-bye.
I think that's solid for now. I'm really looking forward to how that hygrophila is going to slip over on that valve. All right, perfect.
So, for all you people watching, what do you think about it? How does it look? Did Armando do a great job? I think you did a wonderful job. Thank you, Armando.
Thank you.
So here's the ultimate question that, I don't know, we should ask the people. Maybe they can vote in the comments. Should we put some of the original gravel on top or just leave it how it is?
Oh, if we were going to do that, we should have done that before we planted.
That's what I'm saying, though, but we can have it for another video.
Yeah, so. For the channel, we could do anything.
Yep, exactly. So comment on there if we should add in another layer, add in the old gravel to add some white to it, or just keep it black and planted. So let me know what everybody thinks. So for everyone watching, I'm Matt.
I'm Armando.
And we're Pendley's Plentiful Pets.
Arizona Fish Rescue, based out of Kingman, Arizona.
And thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you. Please like, follow, subscribe. Pendley's Plentiful Pets, Arizona Fish Rescue. Have a great night.
All right, see you guys next week.